lunatic.
I am the wine lunatic, and I am here to speak about Mourvedre, known as Monastrell in Spain or Mataro in Australia. It goes by a few other names, but those are the primary three. Most just call it Mourved. Mourved is a big, big red. It is the second from the boldest on DeLong's wine grape varietal table. Generally, Mourved is a late harvest, thick-skinned grape that produces high alcohol wines, dark in color, with velvety tannins and notes of steak, pepper, and black fruits. Though some winemakers make a nice rosé from Mourved, such as Truth Teller Wines featured at the 2018 Wine Media Conference in Walla Walla. And of course, there's a lot of great 100% Mourved in Walla Walla as well. But Mourved is most common in blends. Mourved is the M in GSM, Grenache Syrah Mourved. As you probably know by now, Mourved is my favorite varietal. Shocker, I know. I talk about Mourved quite a bit in my Wine Lunatic video blog on YouTube and, of course, at the conference. My gateway Mourved was McCrea Cellars in Washington, followed by Syncline, also in Washington. In fact, some fantastic Mourved wines are made in Washington. McCrea's final 2011 vintage is a wine enthusiast editor's choice, and some bottles are still available. There are some well-known Mourveds in California as well, such as Klein in Sonoma and Core in Santa Barbara. Dave Corey of Core Winery is known as Mr. Mourved and was once referred to as the mad scientist of wine country. I have video I recorded at Klein during the Sonoma conference that I will be editing soon. Soon. That was a while ago. Klein has many Mourveds, including a delicious 100% Mourved dessert wine. But Mourved is most popular in France and Spain. In France, Mourved is one of the 13 varietals found in the famous Châteauneuf-du-Pape region, and is also a common blending grape in southern Rhône and other parts of southern France. But the greatest region for Mourved in France is Bandol. Mourved is required to be at least 50% of the bottle in wines from the Bandol AOC. I had the pleasure of visiting Bandol in 2019, and it was loads of fun. When I arrived in Bandol, I was greeted by the statue of the improviser and his golden flute. Bandol is to southern France like Palm Springs is to southern California, very popular for weekend getaways. At night, you can enjoy the night market and an outdoor dance party complete with laser lights and a mixture of French, Spanish, and English music. I recommend visiting the Bottle Museum on Bandol Island to see a collection of over 8,000 old wine and spirits bottles. Bandol has an excellent bottle shop showcasing the wines of Bandol and is a great starting point to learn about Bandol wines. You can take a tiny 3-wheeled shuttle service or a full-size cab to visit some of the wineries. While I was in Bandol, I visited Chateau de Pibaron and sampled some of their wonderful wines with varied amounts of Mourved. I will be editing and posting that video soon. Of course, I have my emergency jester hat with me on my trip. Pibaron has great wine and a gorgeous amphitheater-style vineyard, and is only one of over 60 wineries in this small part of the Mediterranean coast. Bandol is a 2-hour train ride from the walled city of Avignon, which is also close to Châteauneuf-du-Pape. I recommend a visit. In Spain, the primary Monastrell region is the Jumilla DO. Monastrell from Spain tends to be a great value as the cost on average is significantly less than Mourved from France or the US. Much of the Mourved in Europe was wiped out by the phylloxera plague in the late 1800s. Though the Jumilla region miraculously escaped the plague at that time, only to succumb over 100 years later in 1989. But with 100 years of prior knowledge of how to deal with phylloxera, Jumilla rebounded. Mourved used to be much more common, but after so much of it getting wiped out by phylloxera, and it being a more difficult grape to grow, not as much was replanted. Some vintners chose to replant with easier grapes, but in Jumilla, after 1989, the amount of Monastrell actually increased after replanting, as Monastrell was particularly well suited for the Jumilla climate. I'd like to end with a small fraction of the Mourveds I recommend. Check out my videos on YouTube for more about Mourved, including an interview with El Jefe of Twisted Oak Winery, maker of the River of Skulls Mourved, and Chris Lolliger of Truth Teller Wines, maker of the Quip Rosé of Mourved. Mourved is fantastic and deserving of a major comeback. Sure, it takes a little longer to ripen, but good grapes come to those who wait. So, I challenge you to make Mourved a regular part of your imbibing. #MoreMourved.
Lunatic, lunatic.